Okay, so good evening once again. Thank you for joining in. We had a bit of we had some technical challenges, so we've decided to just hold on for about 5 minutes before we continue the program. So please just bear with us and give us 5 minutes of your time, and we'll start the program in earnest. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining into the online singles webinar. And it's a pleasure to have you online joining us this Sunday evening. And I know that you're excited that we're back. And so we have a very interesting topic this evening. This evening, we're going to be talking about handling turn-offs in relationships. What are the practical steps that you can take to make sure you're able to cope and deal with turn-offs? And to do that this evening, we have with us the regional overseer of MFM Lekki Youth Church Region 3, Pastor Toby Kukuola, who would be enlightening us with the help of the Holy Spirit on how to handle turn-offs in relationship. You're welcome, sir.
Praise the name of the Lord. Thank you very much. We sincerely apologize for starting this late because we could not enter. So the meeting room, I think we are rectifying it, and I hope people have been able to join in. Hope we have people joining in now. Okay, 12 on Insta, I'll be 12 on Zoom, and other people. We'll go ahead. Yes, we are back. We are back to the matter of relationship, singles, and I want you to please be blessed this evening. I've been given a very interesting topic before me, which is handling turn-offs. And it's very, very interesting because some people don't even allow God to finish speaking about whoever has chosen for them. And because of some little things like this turn-offs, they just cut it off and imagine that it cannot be God. Some people just, well, it's not my class, it's not my style, it's not my kind of person. We are not really, I don't think so. They can't work. That's what we hear. And oftentimes, diamonds that is the most prized jewel in the world comes in a rough. Gold that is second most valued in the world, jewel in the world, comes in a rough. So oftentimes, God hides some interesting things in the rough for us. When you are looking for diamond, you can't dress as if you are going to the office. You dress dirty. You are ready for anything that can come. If you've ever been to where they are refining gold, you will discover that it is not an easy process. I remember that even the Bible says, while we are yet sinners, Christ died for us. So oftentimes God is looking at what we can become and not what we want to be or what we want it to look like. It's what the future holds for us. And we're going to be looking at the scripture today, which is Galatians 5:22 to 23. Galatians chapter 5, 22 to 23. And I want us to look at it. It says, the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, forbearance, kindness, goodness, and faithfulness. And if we are looking at the fruit of the Spirit, it has to do with how well, look at some of the fruits of the Spirit here, is relating to how we treat others and how we approach others, how we look at other people around us. We are talking about the spirit of love. You know, when we define love, First Corinthians tell us that love is patient, love is kind, love is not pompous, love is not proud. It's telling you that if you want to walk with God, you must have love, loving your lovable. If you look at it, joy, it means the Bible talks about the joy of the Lord, my strength, being joyful even in the midst of uncertainty. The Bible talks about peace, whereby you just have peace with something. The Bible talks about forbearance. Another word for it in the Old English is long suffering, forbearance, which is what some of us don't want to look at. Some of us don't want to even, we don't want to take it at all. We just want it sharp, sharp. Everything should be there. But the Bible is saying that there's something called forbearance, when you just bear with God, is a fruit of the Spirit. And the Bible talks about kindness, the Bible talks about goodness, and the Bible talks about faithfulness. And let me now bring it down to reality. Turn-offs are things in this life of someone that God is leading you to, or someone that you are in friendship with, someone you are in a relationship with, and you don't like, and that is the reason why you are still where you are. And that is the reason why you have not been able to move. But remember one thing, if you're talking about turn-offs, you're talking about anyone that God has certified for you, and they have some practical issues, some you alone can see, some other people around you can see that this person has this type of issues, this person have this type of difficulties, but yet what you try to do is that I can't work with it, I'm just walking away. Remember that we once spoke about red flags there. Remember that red flags can't be called turn-offs. Turn-offs can't be called red flags. Turn-offs, remember, are things that you can work on. Red flags are things that you cannot resolve. Let me give you two examples of women in the Bible. I hope the ladies will say that, why am I using it as an example? The Bible gave us an example of Rebecca in Genesis 23, when Abraham said, it's time for me to get wife for my son, Isaac. And he sent out his men to go and check around. I remember they prayed the prayer. And when they got there, they found a lady who was willing to help not only the men that were there, who were enjoying, didn't have any draw water from the well, but to also give the donkey, and you know the level of stress to go and fetch it, she gave all the donkeys water. It didn't stop there. And she was very, very good to them. And that was an indication that, that was to them, that was a lot of acceptance. There was another lady in the New Testament that had an encounter with Jesus Christ. I just want you to give an example. Imagine if Jesus was a man who wanted to approach this lady. And when he approached, he said, my class of people, we don't talk with people like you. He just rubbed off Jesus and you just say, no, you don't. Who are you? Are you trying to beg me for water? What is it that you want? You can see in Genesis, here was a lady that wanted to work on herself. Who didn't know that God has already worked on her. Let me use the word, God has already prepared her, and she was willing to go the extra mile. And in the other hand now, here is a lady who didn't know who she was talking to. She didn't even know that this man had a divine grace. And what really broke her down was by the encounter she had, she became an evangelist straight. So oftentimes when she met Jesus, she said, we are not meant to be, my level is different from your level. And Jesus just had to do something. The only way Jesus could break down that woman was to reveal who she was to herself. That you've had 5 husbands before. Now we already have an idea why she is having 5. She has had 5 husbands. And the one you even have is not your own. And the woman went abroad sharing that I have met a man who has told me everything about my life. 2 different people, 2 different encounters by the well. And that is why I want you to know that when God is on a journey with you, there are some things like my wonderful friend will say. He says that some things are constant, some things are variable. The turn-offs, most of them, if you want to be sincere with ourselves, they are variables. They are things that when you really look at it, it doesn't mean that you have to turn your back on God's decision. It doesn't mean that God does not love you. That is why he has placed that person in your path, or he has placed you in the life of that person. Even in marriages, people assume that when they get married, you still see some little turn-offs. We are Christians. We are not permitted to sleep over in our boyfriend's place, in our fiance's place, in our friend, what's it called, fiancé or fiancé. We are not allowed to be spending days with them. The moment you get married, there will still be a lot of things that will turn you off. Maybe your man is the man that will drop his what's it called, his shoes by the door, his trousers on the chair, his wristwatch on the center table, his singlet on the staircase, and finally his boxers on the floor in the room. Those are turn-offs that some of us, nobody will tell you that is how he is. Nobody will take you to their private room that, they recycle underwear 5 times before they wash it. And for you, it's a turn-off. But turn-offs are things. Remember, the Bible says, 2 shall become one. Turn-offs are things that God has also noticed in a man's life, that what needs to be done is that they should work on it. And there are some certain things that form our, let me use the word, our characters, that are some things that lead to this kind of turn-offs that we notice. Number one is upbringing. Someone who has a rough upbringing can't act the same way. You can't behave the same way with someone that has a very, very balanced upbringing. They are 2 different kind of people. Somebody comes from a family whereby everybody collects money in the morning and you go and look for money. This is your food money. Where I take 200 naira, you eat from anywhere you want to eat. It's from someone that comes from what I call a very, very compact family, whereby by afternoon, everybody sits together at the table, they pray. It's quite different from someone that they don't even know when you are coming back home to sleep. They don't even count the number of people in the house when they want to sleep. They are 2 different people. So upbringing matters. The next thing is exposure is different. The way where maybe this person, the way the person is, the level of exposure, it also matters a lot. If you see people that go to boarding house, they are more tidy than those that went to day school, because at home anything goes. But when you're in boarding house, you will see the way they behave. Their life has been structured. Their system, their housemaster cannot come around and find their things floating around. In fact, they know how to lock up everything, because if they don't lock up, their supplies will be ended before the time runs out. So upbringing, exposure is majorly one of the things that determine how people turn out. Remember what I said earlier, that turn-outs are just pure, maybe personality disorders that you think, or is really going on. Because remember, if you come from an angle whereby, oh well, I'm not obliged to do that to you. I'm not under any law to treat you this way. And somebody who feels that is under that law, there are two different mindsets. Another thing is the level of, if you are looking at, I'm trying to analyze what forms all these disorders that we are calling turn-offs in the life of people. Another thing is family background. Is the person from a nucleus family, or what we call what? A polygamous family? There will be a little bit of turn-off in them. There will be a little bit of circumstances, issues that you will just say, no, I can't take this. No, I'm not setting for this. But listen to me. You yourself, God is still working on you. God is working on you. If you are from a nucleus family whereby when you finish anything, your father gives you, by the time you accomplish a little, what's it called? Take any giant step in life, he gives you a very, very serious hug. He will celebrate you on your birthday. He will show up in your school. He will come. He will take pictures with you. He will go back to work. He drops you in school. He comes back to pick you. Is there somebody that has 7 children from 3 different wives? Some of us have seen relationships that broke up, that you did not remember my birthday. Some of us, I've seen somebody who will say, even he did not remember the day we met. Wow. The day you met. He's not a date person, because all his life he has been running without dates. On his birthday, his father never called him to say happy birthday. So you now want him to start taking note of the day your car got spoiled. How does today matter in my life? He cannot even remember my mom's birthday. He cannot remember my daddy's birthday. You need to handle it. You need to do what? You need to handle it. The next thing that I want us to look at again, for those of us who are following up right now, another thing there is the mannerism, manners. Manners. Please take note of that word. What did I say? Manners. You can't be dating. You can't go cross tribe and expect that everything should be the way you think it should be. If you are from the western part, there is a culture attached to their manners. If you are from the northern part, there's a culture attached to their manners. If you are from the eastern part, there's a culture attached to their manners. If you decide to go and marry from Ghana, there's a culture that is attached to their manners. If you, as a person, you don't learn from them, you don't accept them that, oh, this person is like this, there will be a problem. Some couples are about to marry some recent time past, and the person is from the western, and the other person is from the far north. And I remember telling this person that, if you are going, as a lady, if you are going to marry someone who is from that part, you have to learn a lot. It's different. You can't want to spare. You can't come and be saying feminism. No, it does not work. These are people that they can't carry your bag outside. These are people that when there is function, when the men are seated in the living room, all the women should be in another room, sitting down and gisting together. You can't be saying, oh, I'm your husband, I must sit with you when men are sitting. Yes. Are you saying no? It is their culture. There are Christians who are from that place. There are believers who are from that area. It is the culture. The Bible says, to the Jew I became a Jew. To the Gentile, not that the gospel might be preached. You can't just wake up and say, nope, you went to a party, you abandoned me. He said I should go and stay somewhere with the women. You went to and stay with the men. It is a matter of control. This cannot be God. This cannot be God. There is a reason God sent you to that place. Praise the name of the Lord. The next thing is that we need to look at when we are talking about the turn-offs, which is very, very important, is where the location where the person is living. It matters a lot. Your environment has an influence on you, and it says a lot about you. So if, for instance, if you want to marry someone who is not located in Nigeria, if you want to marry someone who all his life has lived abroad, the way they will be eating when they get to function, from a Nigerian man will eat. I've seen people that their turn off is that we went for a party, and right there, if you see the way he was digging the amala and cutting it and throwing inside his mouth. No, it's as if it's an hyena. I can't marry somebody who like this. What of my friends? There will be problems. There will be a lot of issues. The fact about one thing about turn off is this, is that as long as the person wants to work on himself, as long as we are ready to exercise the fruit of the Spirit, which is long-suffering, patience, kindness, the two of you can work. Remember what I said at the beginning. If you have heard God telling you that this is your husband, if you have heard God telling you that this is your wife, everything called turn-offs, they are just variables. They are not constant. They are not, because you yourself that you are talking, you yourself are saying, oh no, I can't take it. You yourself, there are some other areas of your life that you are not perfect. And the Bible says our imperfection is made perfect in Him. Am I making sense to somebody? There are different turn-offs for different people. I've seen someone dressing, oh, the way so even when God is showing them, say this one, hey, the way he's dressing, hey, I can't marry somebody that is looking like what's it called? National flag. No, I can't. When a man wears green trousers, white shirt, and green tie, and is looking like, or somebody wears a lemon tie on a yellow shirt with a brown suit. All those things. The same for men, the same for women. The dress style is important. And that is why if you are this person that, oh, you must be willing. If everybody is complaining about a turn off in your life, don't shut the person out. Don't say the person is judging you. The person is trying to make a better person. Just agree. The next thing is the eating habit of the person. Maybe the person is a fit farm, another person can eat anything at any point at anyhow. It is a turn off. But the fact that is someone that can eat everything on the table, or is someone that when they pour drink for them in a glass, he will make sure that he drinks all the juice, everything in the cup. It will even take the level that you know it is a turn off. It is not a yardstick for the person to be turned down. It is just that this person is working in progress. Some people are saucy. I'm just trying to find out how to manage it. Is normal. Some people are very saucy. They are very, very rude. There are some people that they don't feel that when they see any of your person, they will just stand and they expect the person to come and you are saying, greet now. I will give you a look that why should I greet? Who is the person? Some people are saucy. You can't. All these things matter a lot. I was talking about a man of God used to tell us something about the way you eat. He said there was a time he was trying to get a scholarship. He's a great man in this country, and it was a scholarship that had to do with academic ability. He said when he came to the academic level, he knew that he would win it. But until one day, when they now said, okay, the next level of this competition will be a dinner, and it took all of them for dinner. And by the time they sat at the dinner table, they brought bread and they brought soup. And when he wanted to eat his own bread and soup, the normal way, how do we eat bread and soup in this part of the world? He just cut his bread and dipped it in the soup, and was putting, not knowing that they were recording everybody, because they didn't want people that would go and disgrace us abroad. And by the time they got there, when they were announcing, because of that alone, he was stopping academics. They dropped him. If somebody is complaining of the way you don't know how to use fork and knife. It is not, you can't go, there are some things you can't get to, and you are using your hand to eat fufu and to eat eba. Nobody will provide water. You will not be asking you, can I get water to wash my hand? Why would they get water for you to wash your hand? Yes, you can say, hey, it's my culture, it's my culture. Uncle, brother, you will remain where you are. It's your culture. The world has evolved. It's your culture. Is English our culture, or we are speaking their culture? This is our official language. It suits our culture, but it's the official dress that they are wearing, that we are wearing. So the same way you must be in the next generation. The next thing is the way, like I've spoken about it, is some people will just complain about your maybe the person has some, let me use the word, body defects. You've seen people, body defect is a turn off for some people. He's too short, he's too tall, he has a big stomach, she's not, she doesn't have flesh. I like bulky women. And because of that, you are saying, no, I can't, I've not received anything from God. I've not received anything from God because of body size. I pity that kind of person. Well, I can't talk much. People will say, that's what pastors say. Oh, pastors' wives are fine. Well, if they allow God to choose for them. But oftentimes, if you know in the depth of their hearts, it is not, may God's desire supersede your own desire. So if you are looking at it, if everybody is talking about, oh, the way she's appearing, oh, the way she's, I want, but it is not all, it is not a spiritual reason for you to turn down God's will for you. Another thing that people talk about is, when we are looking at it, is dates. The people take going out. They don't go out. There are people who don't want to go out. They just want to sit down in a place. Maybe it's monetary issue. I don't know. They don't want to go out. But you, from movie, you want to walk around the park. From walking around the park, you just want to sit down inside Mori Okunola Park in the evening, and you're just watching the stars. Maybe, yes, it's possible. You have watched a lot of movies and you want to do it. And the brother is looking at it that if Steve should come and catch us, they will beat us. And it's because, oh, it's not this thing. Every Friday night you want to go out. Every this thing you want to go out. If it begins to go out like you, who will take care of the house? If your wife too jumps out every time we are off, who will stay back at home? God brings people in your life to complement you. Nobody must. You don't expect somebody to change all 360 degrees at one go. It is a gradual process. The next one is being around opposite sex. There are so many people, women that are very, that have male friends, men that have female friends. And because before the Lord introduced you to them and said, this is your husband, you just say, hey, this one, lie. No, this one will be sleeping around. This one will be doing all these things. Listen to me, it can't be true. You can have a lot of friends, but yet you are still disciplined. The next thing is courage, the way you carry yourself. People will be walking, and as they are walking, you'll be hearing their slippers, pasha. It can be a turn off for some people. The next thing is the level of appreciation. Somebody buys you a gift, and you begin to check how much is the gift. It can be a turn off for someone. Is the gift? Is it? I was hearing a story. Somebody bought someone a gold wristwatch. The person went to go find out whether it's a real gold or it is a panda. Unfortunately, it was a semi-panda, and that was it, that you bought me a fake this thing, and you are calling me this thing. And the brother asked, did I tell you it was gold? For some people, it is what we call values. Some people believe that, oh, when I have money, I must go until I have money to buy a house, I must not buy a car. And they don't mind. They don't even take Uber. They will take public transport. Some people have that, that car is a depreciating asset, blah, 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 blah. It can be turned off to some people. But what matters most, my brother, my sister, is you being able to understand the person and resolve. Some will tell you that no, and the lady will say, hey, it's only I can be entering in the rain. Rainy season is coming. And after service, I'll be jumping bus. It can be God sending you there still. I know what I'm talking about. If you have any question, please, you can begin to post it at this point in time, because we just take some few questions. You can post it on the platforms as God gives you the grace. What kind of turn-offs that people might have, and the Almighty God, it can be background. You are looking for someone with a posh background, with Queen's English, with everything. It is not a divine yardstick to that you must marry somebody. It's just one of those added advantage. And God Himself knows where He's taking you to. It's not how your spouse will come out and dazzle people. It's where the two of you are going together that matters. Because of time, I think I should try and wind down on that. And the question is this: how do I handle turn-ups? How do I handle it? I'm going to divide it to two parts. Number one is this: is you that you are complaining, and in case you are the one that wants to receive the complaint, how do you manage? Number one is this: is that you must talk about it. What did I say? You must do what? Talk about it. If you don't talk about it, then there is a problem. If you keep on hiding it and are just waiting, for some people, they've talked about it, everybody has made them keep quiet and say it is not a reason for you to go. That's not, no, it's not, God does not work like that. And because of that, they have kept quiet and they are just going with the flow, and they are just, one day they will just explode, bam, and the whole thing will scatter. So you must talk about it. Let's talk about it. Every relationship should have a meeting room where they talk about things and issues. The second thing is that you must pray about it. Yes, when I say prayer, yes, pray about it. That Father, please help me to pass this message across. Sometimes the message you want to pass across, other people have to pass it across to the person. And when you are saying it, if it's guided by the Holy Ghost, it becomes a better message. It becomes a full message that can help the person. The third thing is this: is when you want to talk about it, you must look for the right mood. When I say the right mood, make sure that it is when the person is in the right state of mind. Don't talk to the person when the person is hungry. Don't talk to the person when the person is complaining about money. It will cause what I call volcanic eruption. If you put petrol inside fire, it will hear bang. It will explode and even pursue the person that poured it inside. So you must be able to discover the mood. The next thing is that you must what? You must make sure your expression is good. How can you want to question and say, how do you dress like a villager like this? It is enough to make the person say, no, this one doesn't have talk to people like that. It's your dressing. Why are you eating like a beast? Yeah? Eating like a beast. Why are you doing as if you did not go to school? It is an indication that you are not trying to talk. You are just brought the person. So remember, and the next one is this: you must look for ethical backings, things that will back up your points. These things might look simple, but if you follow this process, look for, what did I say? Things that can back up your points. If you look for circumstances, reasons, evidence, video, proof that can back up your point. The next thing is this: is that you must respect the person, the person you are talking to. Respect the person's opinion when they are making their case. Yes, you cannot tell me that everything about the person is bad. At least if he doesn't know how to dress, appreciate the shoe. Something must be appreciated. Do you understand? So the next thing is that you must also put the advantage of eating in the right way and the disadvantages of eating in the wrong way. Make sure that your points are cleared with what? With advantage and disadvantages. And I tell you that everybody is not mad. If the person is now not willing to change, that's why you can now escalate it to God or to people of respect that the person respects around him. And the next one is this: how do I receive it? How do I try to receive all these complaints? If somebody is looking at me, what if I'm the one that they are complaining about the way I am? Number one is that You must be willing. Remember the fruit of the Spirit. You must be teachable. Be teachable. If somebody is coming to tell you about yourself, is that not the person you want to marry? It's not your boss that is, it's not the competition with you. If he's telling you about a particular thing they see in your life, just look at it. Just be teachable. If you're not teachable, you can't receive any instructions from anywhere. Remember, you can drop your questions on all the platforms so that we can answer them. You must, what did I say? You must be very, very teachable. And the next thing is this for you is that you must respond with grace. You must respond with what? With grace. The Bible says, let your word be seasoned with what? With grace. And if somebody has looked at you and said, I don't like this about you, I don't like that about you, one of the best words that can make you win over the person is this, is I'll work on myself. Give me time to work on myself. I don't like the way you respond to my friends, the way you look at them. Even, oh, well, your friends are all unbelievers. What has light got to do with darkness? You are going to lose that conversation that day because the Bible says you should not condemn anybody. So it's okay. I'll work on it. I'll try and get that. I'll work on it. I'll work on it. I'll work on it. Will solve a lot of issues. And what is the next thing that you do is you begin to look inward. If you feel that you are not convinced, look for people who are very, very people that I will call not yes members. Everybody have yes friends around, and they are very bad friends. Friends that everything you say is yes. Please don't go and meet them. They will tell you that yes, you are correct. Perhaps maybe they are getting some things from you. Look for people that are very sincere with you. Let them talk to you. Let them ask. Cite those things. Say my girlfriend came to them, or my fiancé came, or my no. Just look at that. Do you think about all these things? That how do you see it? And I tell you that if they are very sincere people, if that is going to be your spouse, who is meant to be the closest friend, then I will tell you that it will go a long way. I feel that at this point you'll be able to look at this handling turn-offs. And remember, we started from the fruit of the Spirit is key. And I pray that God will help us mightily.
Amen. Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for the sharing with us. You've given us over 10 whatever people and how we can deal with it. So we have some questions that are on the platforms. We're streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, Zoom, and Periscope. So if you have questions, please keep dropping your questions on the chat rooms, and we'll take those questions. So we do have some questions that listeners dropped while you were teaching, and so I'd just like to take one or two of those questions. The first question, which is from Facebook, says, is it okay if a brother does not introduce his girlfriend to his family? Could we tag that as a turn-off too, if I might add?
It is even more than a turn-off. It is a red flag. So it's a serious red flag. There must be reason. That's why I said that there must be. Bring your reasons. Let us reason together. So we must bring our reasons, and we must sit down together and reason. Why is he not taking me to his family? It's a lot, especially if you have been together for more than 6 months and you are not doing this useless kind of relationship that is just body-based relationship. It's a future-driven relationship. At least you should know some members of his family. If he's not showing you the members of his family, it's either there is something the person is telling you that is a proverb to you saying that they will not accept you or they will not take you over. And if you have discussed it this same way, if you look at this method, it's a red flag. If you take all these points, that you go there with peace and with gentleness and you talk about it, I tell you that if you are not getting any feedback, please escalate the situation. And remember, I said it's even more than a turn off. It is a red flag. Yes.
Thank you very much, sir. So I want to ask a question, and I know you did touch on it during your teaching, but I just want you to go a bit deeper into it, and it has to do with hygienic turnoffs. I'll explain what I mean by that. So you rightly talked about situations where, because of the type of um, godly relationships that brothers and sisters go into right now, you
Mhm.
don't know a lot about the person. So, e.g., you've not slept over in the person's house, so you don't know whether, for instance, he doesn't change his boxers. You don't know, maybe the lady doesn't even brush her mouth in the mornings before, she decides to eat, things like that. How do we, in a relationship now, how do we broach those subjects so that we even get to know that, okay, this is what this person is like at home, instead of falling into it and then finding out when we are into it.
Yes, thank you very much. You said a lot, and that how do we know it? Number one is that is if a relationship for me is a time of knowing each other. Do you understand? If remember where we when we had this programs repeatedly, we said as long as you have decided to get married and you see that there's commitment, there is nothing to hide again. Ask every question you want to ask. If you are noticing that the person has hygiene issues, make it talk about it. If his mouth issue, go talk to the person, take the person to the dentist. Let them go and scale the person's teeth if it's that the teeth are too much. One of the reasons why people have mouth issues is because even as people, which is why one of these days we should talk about hygiene. Please, Pastor Dixon, to work on it is when you get to the supermarket. That is why it's good for you to be a reader. There are different types of of toothpaste. They have it written there. Long, fresh breath. If your teeth is not strong, they have one for you. If you are now buying Sensodyne because you have a broken teeth, but it's not good with fresh breath, you will run inside problem. So when you don't, if you receive these observations with a lot of grace and fruit of the spirit, both of you will walk around it. If you perspirate a lot, you are somebody that have sweat coming out of your body. There are things you can buy. There are drugs that you can buy that you can use on yourself, and it will get better. There are deodorants that will last longer. Not just pick anyone that is cheap. You go to the market, you just pick the one that is what's it called? This one is 750. You buy it, not knowing that what they have poured inside, they have mixed it times three compared to the one that they sell 2.5. So you must be able to receive it. When you ask all those questions, and as you are noticing it, begin to tell the person that I think we can do better. But let your words, remember my point is that let your words be what? Be seasoned with grace. Don't talk to your fiancé as I can order, or fiancé, there is a two line to it. Don't talk to that as an order. You must, no. Oh yeah, off your shoe. Oh yeah, straight. The what's it called? Where's that bag? Yeah, go and drop it there, go and drop it in there. No, that's what it will lead to trouble. Nobody wants to marry their boss. Nobody wants to marry their mother. Nobody wants to marry their father. Somebody wants to marry their friend and their lover. So that's what I would advise. Talk about it. If you notice it, talk about it and start helping the person to work on it. It's the way you present. If you start saying, your body, they smell, you have already judged the person. The person will not want to listen to the rest of the conversations that you have. I have met people that have body odor. I take them aside. Maybe if you are close to me, you work with me, and I tell them steps to take. And I'll be saying it jokingly, and I'll let you know that because of the work relationship, you have to work on these things. And some of them, I don't even remember that they had those kind of conditions before. So I think, have I been able to answer that, sir?
Yeah, yes, sir, you have. Thank you very much. And that was very in-depth. Thank you. So I'm going to take a question from YouTube, which says, is it okay to ask God for certain things, qualities that you want in your husband, as long as it's not things of the flesh? So the person gives an example. So for instance, I want my husband to be a member of the same church, maybe not the same branch, but is it okay to ask God for certain things that you know you want to see in the man of your dreams? Or
There's
maybe I
nothing.
should. Okay, yes, go
Yes,
ahead, sir. Sorry.
there is nothing wrong if you. The Lord will answer the prayer of His children, and I tell you that God really grants it. My life is a living testimony of this kind of prayers. One day I was praying so much, I started to put my wife on some spiritual exercise. And what my wife said to me really shook me. Said, "You are everything that I ever prayed for." Because he said, "I told God that I wanted a priest in my home." And he didn't know that I was even coming like that. I said, "Lord, I don't want to be the one to be dragging my husband to say, let us pray. I want a man that will be the priest in the home." So if you have all those kind of achievements, if you have all those things, the Bible says, bring your strong reasons. Nobody, Bible, remember the words of Jesus, no child will ask from his father a bread and he will give you stone. So it is possible for you to go before God in fasting, in prayer. I recommend, once the person is getting to 19, begin to have a weekly fast on the type of man you want. Begin to have your prayer point on your marital life placed before God. And I know that God will answer you. Yes.
Thank you very much, sir. Now, just looking at the major turn-offs that you've identified, sir, I mean, it's very clear that turn-offs could be likened to personality disorders.
Yes.
So I'd like to just, if you could share with us, sir, if someone has a personality disorder but does not believe that the person has a personality disorder. So a brother, for instance, does not believe that he has body odor, is in denial. Let me put it that way. Or a sister does not believe that she has mouth odor, she's in denial. How do we address that? I mean, you said talk about it, but we've talked about it, and we're not making a headway because this person is in denial. He doesn't believe that when he chews with his mouth at the table, he makes a lot of noise. That's a major turnoff. So how do we, deal with those kind of issues where the person is in denial?
Yes. Number one is this, is that you must, out of two or three people, look out for the people that the person respects. Make sure it's not as if the person is maybe it turns out to be an embarrassing situation. If they try to, they should be able to complement your point. I mean, so they're able to stand by you when you are making those points. Number two is this: is that if the person is stubborn about it, then escalate it to what I call a red flag and pray about it. Because if he's not listening to advice, if he's not listening to correction, you will carry that burden all the days of your life. Do you understand, sir? So I will advise whoever is in that kind of situation, remember that when I use the word escalate, it is to look for somebody who the person respects. That's why you have pastors, that is why you have shepherds, people that can be able to translate it to people in a better way, and they will not feel that you are biased or you are just trying to win an argument. Don't raise somebody's disorder when the person has a point on you. That disorder will not fly again. So you are just saying, look, you are saying, you to this how you do it. You said me, I don't know how to eat. You too, you don't know how to do this one. It will turn to issue. So if it is getting to that level, I will advise that if it's getting, but there is a saying that I learned in my primary school, that he who thinks he knows and does not know and argues that is no is a fool running from him. So if somebody is saying that no, everything is wrong, he always wants to be correct. There are a lot of people like that in our world. Please stay away from them. Yes, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. I have a question from Instagram, and the question says, while you've been praying and waiting on God for holy matrimony and for the right person, how do you recognize the right person when he comes?
How do you recognize the right person?
So I would assume that the person is saying that if she or he has been praying and waiting on God for Mr. Right or Mrs. Right, Sister Right or Brother Right, and there are many people coming, how do you decipher which one is the right one?
Oh, let me. I want to assume that the person is a lady. I always have a lot of. Let me use the word. I have a lot of situation with our ladies generally. Number one is make yourself available. I'm still going to that point that how do you make yourself, how do you know, how do you recognize? Number one is that make yourself available. When I say make yourself available, you can't be single in this age. And I know what I'm talking about, except it has become maximum distraction for you. You are not on any social media platform. You are not even ordinary your phone. You say you just want to be in your lane. It is possible for God to bring the man to you in your house. But at least Rebecca was out there making herself, making her character known, and God brought people that will recommend her. On your status, put up your pictures, not good pictures, joyful pictures, not the one where you are shaking your head, die, die, die. No, don't be too serious in your approach. Put yourself out there. The glory of the Lord shall be revealed, and all flesh shall see it. So please try and make yourself, like I said, you are not on social media, you are not reaching out to people, you are not, once you finish you need to make yourself come out. You need to be there. You need to be in your space and let your space also attract other people to your space. The next is that how do you recognize where the person is? Number one is this, is that it is God that will bring the person, and you must be close to God. So if the person is coming, is the person coming? If you're a man, how do you recognize the person? You pray for God to show you the lady. If you're a lady, when the man is coming, is he coming for friendship? You ask him, what are you coming for? In lockdown alone now, I've seen a lot of men who are coming to meet women. They are just bored. Are you a boredom? Are you like TV that will switch off and on when we want to? Hey, how you do? You will get your mind excited. It will begin. It's just boredom. We'll pick questions. Sorry. What is it? Where are we going from here? I've seen somebody that asked before, the person said, oh, sorry, I thought we were friends. I have my girlfriend. Why are you now calling me at 1 a.m.? You have your girlfriend. Why are we talking 2 o'clock? Am I radio with that batch that can just decide to talk? So you must position yourself close to the heart of God, so that when the person comes, every point of pointer that the person is giving you, if the person is trying to be friendly, you just take it back to God in prayer, and God will tell you, this is the person, this is not the person. I think I've been able to answer that question.
Yes, sir, you have. Thank you very much. So we don't have any more questions. And once again, we want to apologize for starting behind schedule. And we want to thank everyone who's been able to join us for today's teaching. This teaching is also going to continue next week, when we'll be talking about how to handle rejection in relationships. And we'll have a broader panel, people sharing with us their experiences on relationship and dealing with rejection in relationships. So I'm just going to ask the final question that I'm getting from Periscope, sir, and then you can round up. So this question says, how do you deal with the situation where the lady your brother is with does not like family members?
That's the serious issue. Well, what is it that we can't answer some questions in isolation of some other facts? So why is it that the person doesn't like your family member? Number two is that as any situation arises that has made her to withdraw from the family member. Number three is that what is your position of your brother on this matter? So we have to consider all those three things. So if you want me to answer the question, if your brother is shifting towards her, then you begin to intercede for your brother. Number two is, if you people have done anything to make her to withdraw from everybody, people should drag the person back. If it's your brother that is telling her bad things about the family, quickly know, so that in case the brother is keeping him away from you people, maybe because there are some things he doesn't want him to know about the family, or there's some underlying situation. But if it is beyond all these things, what that brother needs is, in your family time, you should put him in prayer and lead and hand over the situations to God, so that the love within the family will not turn to hatred. Yes, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. So that's the end of the question and answer session, sir. So I'd just like you to please round up the program.
Should be any topic that they want us to discuss, that maybe if they can send us the comments, so that we can look into those topics to help us meet their needs. Maybe there's that we are not talking about that they would like us to handle. And
okay.
That God will help us.
So we will also post that for people.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, shall we pray? Father, in the name of Jesus, Lord, we thank you for this privilege to learn at your feet. Father, I pray for your children, that the wisdom for them to navigate their marital life, that Lord, you will bestow it upon them in the name of Jesus. I pray that for those who are in this situation whereby the turnoffs is getting them depressed, is weighing them down, that Lord, you will give them the right counsel and the right way to go about it after this teaching in the name of Jesus. I pray for every single person here, that before the end of this year, God will settle you. And I pray that your marital life will see the hand of God. Jehovah's grace shall be sufficient for you. And if the Lord tarries in his coming, I prophesy over your life that before this time next year, you will have a complete testimony mentally, in the mighty name of Jesus. And Father, I pray for anyone on this broadcast that the enemy is planning car accidents for you. Because you have joined this program, we overturn it right now. Let God's grace be mighty upon you. You will go from glory to glory, and you shall be a blessing to you and your household. In Jesus' powerful name, we pray. Amen. God bless.
Thank you very much, sir. So if you have questions, please, there's a form we're going to put on the link, on our Instagram link. Please, if you have questions or topics that you want us to talk about, please just put in those topics, and we will have an opportunity to discuss those topics. Thank you everyone for joining, and see you next week. Thank you very much, sir.